Well, good morning to you and welcome to Mornings with a Stranger. So, my DJ has found a couple Tim Minchin bits, and on the music reaction channel, we do a lot of Tim songs there. So, we thought we would throw in a little Tim here. I have never seen these before. I have no idea what they are. My understanding is they're from the same show. They're like his in between song chats, and they aren't connected. So, we'll start out with that mystery and see where it takes us.
What I'm trying to say for you youngsters is throughout the evening there might be some terminology that you struggle with because you're young and ignorant, but also because some of it was written before you were born. So there'll be a bit of a glossary of terms throughout the night so you don't fall behind. But for this one, there's not much. There's at one point, the antagonist refers to a chick magazine, which is like a obnoxious way of talking about a girly magazine. So a magazine is like how would you describe? It's like a large-scale, floppy, shiny book, basically. A book is, how would you describe? A book is like a tightly bound stack of very thin slices of tree that you entertain yourself. It's like TikTok, but it doesn't make you mentally ill. Anyway, a girly magazine is what we used to do for porn. I know you guys can't even imagine a world in which you don't have the planet's most perverse picadillos playing in high definition video in your pocket 24/7. Back in our day, our porn was still. And we used to have to search for it in the sand dunes behind the drive-in. For some reason, I still don't understand. A drive-in is like a massive iPhone. Like, picture a huge iPhone, and you back your car up to it, and you pop the boot and lie there and try not to get distracted by the voice of Harrison Ford coming through your car stereo while you try to finger your sister's best friend. It's complicated. It's hard to describe. Now I say it out loud, it doesn't seem likely. I can't believe I'm doing old person jokes. I just want to die quite soon.
Oh my God. It is actually really funny, disturbing, cool, scary to think of like just how much like the statement he's saying those things and he's not wrong to have to. Like, I mean, I realize people know what books are, but at the same time, there are a whole bunch of people who are going to school to never get a textbook. I'm back in college, and one of my textbooks doesn't come in actual book form. It's only a digital version. Not conducive for learning for most of us. And I know I've had people, a couple people who have like done education in their later life and or not even later life, midlife, although one in later life, and watching people, watching fellow students who are only using digital textbooks and feeling like that they're not getting the same education, which is fascinating. And then I'm curious is there a difference in learning, and is there an adaptive difference in learning, and is it, just some people, I think the digital platform is going, either they will totally, their brain will thrive on, and there's the other of us who like books because we like to highlight and mark things up and put tabs. And then when somebody asks us a question, we're like, oh, let's see, that feels like it was like 2/3 of the way through the book. And I think I highlighted that on the upper left corner. And I think I put a tab there. Let me go find that. Some of the digital books, they're not so easy to navigate. So anyway, and that's just about books, not to mention all of the rest of the things that he talked about. Drive-ins. Remember drive-ins? I didn't have a lot of experience with drive-ins, but not my favorite way to see a movie, but a fun way to experience a movie with other people. Yeah, that's awesome. Someday I hope to see the rest of this show and see what song he was going into. Okay, on to the next bit.
So confirmation bias is a human tendency. This is a short TED talk, and then we'll get back to the show. Confirmation bias is a human bias towards information that confirms our pre-existing beliefs or hypotheses, right? So if there's this information out in the world, a bit of data or an idea, we're much more likely to notice it in the first place and subsequently accept it, believe it, integrate it into our belief system if it confirms what we already think. In contrast, if there's a bit of information or data or an idea out there in the world that disconfirms something we think, we're incredibly good at just not noticing it. Or if someone shoves it in front of our faces, we have all these neuropsychological tricks we play on ourselves to resolve the resultant cognitive dissonance. We will do anything but the intellectual heavy lifting required to change our minds. So a working example, right? Imagine you're driving along in a car through West London and you have a pre-existing belief that Asian women are bad drivers, right? So you're driving along and someone pulls out in front of you and you have to slam on the brakes. You think, oh, for fuck's sake. And as they drive away, you notice that the driver is a female Asian person and you go, aha, I knew it. And you take that data point and you put it in your pocket with the 2 other times that's ever happened in your whole life. Meanwhile, discarding the 20 or 30 times white vans driven out in front of you because you think, oh, well, they've got bad blind spots and they're always in a hurry with their deliveries or whatever. And that white van driver might have a pre-existing belief that all Muslims are Islamist terrorists, because the only time he ever really notices the word Muslim is when it's in 180 font bold lettering next to the word terrorist in a red top newspaper when some dickhead Muslim does a bomb, but meanwhile he's disregarded the fact that London Mayor's a Muslim or the holder of the 10,000 metre world record or the head of the BMA or whatever. And that Muslim person might have a belief that atheists are amoral or less altruistic because the only time they ever think about morality or altruism is within the confines of their faith at the mosque, and so on and so forth. And this is why throughout history, human beings have always been terrible people. Because we are very bad at changing our minds. But then, like 25, 30 years ago, along comes the internet, and a little bit later, search engine algorithms, a bit after that, social media algorithms, and everything gets a lot worse. Because social media and search engines are basically confirmation bias robots. Like if you set out to create an AI that did the same error that confirmation bias does, that sends you further down the path you're already down, that makes your thinking more and more binary, you could barely do better than the combination of search engines and social media. And it doesn't matter if you don't have to start with bad intent, you could just be a moderate Republican sitting in Idaho or Iowa, and one day you go to Google and say, hello Google, are the Democrats trying to erode my Second Amendment rights? And 5 clicks later, you're like, oh, so, right, Hillary Clinton and Joe Biden are lizards.
Right.
Lizard people down from a lizard planet that have come to Earth to start a small business trafficking child sex slaves out of the basement of a pizzeria. Or you could be like a lovely sort of hippie from the southwest of England, and you type into Google one day, mindfulness yoga retreat, Devon, and 5 clicks later you're like, oh wow, I didn't know they're using 5G towers to spread a synthesized novel coronavirus so that Bill Gates can use fake vaccines to inject microchips into our bloodstream so he can track us wherever we go, as if all Bill Gates ever wanted was to find out where to get the best gluten-free banana bread in Totnes.
Yes, that wouldn't that be the best? All getting microchips so Bill Gates could find out where the best gluten-free banana bread was. We already have our microchips. It's on us. We're done. We're good. We're good. Boop. Done. Okay. Anyway, sorry. I'm always fascinated when people do things. They always have to go to like the gluten-free world, and make that the scapegoat of whatever. Anyway, I gluten-free banana bread sounds really, really good right now, especially with chocolate chips. Banana bread and chocolate chips together, very important. Side note, I didn't realize until I was, I don't know how old, that banana bread could be made without chocolate chips, because my mother always made it with chocolate chips, appropriately. And I remember picking up a piece of bread at a relative's house that probably was neither banana nor chocolate chips. It was raisin. And I was just incensed. I felt like I had been completely, like this was a horrible, mean trick that somebody did. If I remember right, it probably ended up in tears. And there's multiple reasons for that I won't go into right now. But yes, I am a big believer in banana bread and chocolate chip muffins. And also, anytime They're a good combination. Okay. Anyway, just that's what popped into my head. Just sharing. And where did he say this? His joking comment. I just didn't catch the place.
Was to find out where to get the best gluten-free banana bread in Totnes. And if you're sitting there thinking, this is a bit rich coming from you, Minchin, you've literally made a living getting on stage for 2 hours a night and shouting whatever comes into your fat ginger head, I'll say to you, that is because I am a hypocrite.
Well, that show looks like much fun. I'm gonna have to check that out at some point. Oh my gosh. That is fantastic. I love that he comes around to the hypocrite piece. I kind of figured he would somewhere. Often he kind of does, which is also one of the delightfulnesses about his comedy and his brain. And yeah, it's usually just, okay, wait for it. We'll get there. Yeah, that's awesome. So many roads that would be fun to go down. Again, the amount of layers that is to so many of the things that he says. So, but it stands delightfully on its own. All right. Well, that was a good time. I hope you enjoyed. Good brain tickling and teasing and getting going in the morning. All right. Well, thank you so much for being here and hanging out with me. I hope you had a good time. And please do like the video, subscribe to the channel, check out the other videos that we have. And until next time, we will see you soon. Have a wonderful day. Bye.